Hello gunners, welcome to another video. And yeah, it wasn't nice to lose to Spurs. It's never nice to lose to Spurs, but let's just go through it. Let's look at the reaction. I think there was quite sort of a disappointing reaction from certain Arsenal fans and rival fans towards Victor Gyokeres. We've got some good news regarding Eberechi, which I'm sure is going to make you guys happy after seeing how we played, especially in the midfield and off the left wing. But before I begin, if you are new here, please give this video a massive thumbs up, and also subscribe as well, whether you are new, whether you are returning. It is always greatly appreciated. But let's start with a bit of positivity, and we got to see Victor Gyokeres in an Arsenal shirt for the first time. And here is a really nice sort of compilation done here by a cameraman out in Hong Kong of Victor Gyokeres' first sort of moments in the Arsenal kit. You know, it was nice to see him on there. He only came on for about 10 minutes, but from the reaction, what you're seeing from people, you'd think he played about 45 minutes. And I'm one of the people that wasn't a big fan of the Gyokeres signing. I think he isn't a good fit for us. But the reaction that I've seen from people is insane. You know, and I don't like to take photos out of context, but this photo was taken of the Arsenal squad. And you're just looking at Victor Gyokeres, man. You know, he's been stressing so much to get this Arsenal move. He's wanted this Arsenal move so much. And just seeing the way people are already pressuring him, you know, we talk about what's Gyokeres' best traits. I think his mentality is. But it's always going to be difficult. It doesn't matter how much of mentality you have. You're going to feel down with how people have reacted. And Gyokeres is on social media. You must have seen it. And here is the image of him. You know, and Arsenal fans, this has been going round. And he just looks so down as the team head back to London. And this is only off of 10 minutes of football. That's why I don't like pre-season. You know, people are reacting so much over pre-season, over 10 minutes of Gyokeres in a game which Arsenal weren't playing that well. And you're seeing tweets like this, Gyokeres limiting the comments in his Instagram photo after one game. Yes, Gyokeres, I did check, limited his comments after the game because of what he was receiving. That is just not on. It genuinely isn't. You'd think he's played 100 games with the way people are sort of acting. And if you do search the name Gyokeres up on social media, you just see a bunch of disses. You know, comparing him here to it is a joke. But Gyokeres, you know what? He runs like chunks. See, this is just not on. You know, it's just not on. I'm going to go into a bit more detail later, but I just want to have a little bit of a moan because I don't like this. Even titles such as this, underwhelming Gyokeres debut. There is no need for this part. You can just say, debut of Gyokeres shows why Arsenal need him so much. But you said underwhelming Victor Gyokeres debut. That is just not good enough. But before I get on to more of this video, a massive shout out once again to Dragon Jersey who are sponsoring it. If you want to get an Arsenal kit, if you want to get any sort of kit, this is the place for you. You can use code Fanatics, yes, Fanatics, in my name for 10% off. I highly recommend it. If you want to get a Gyokeres one, that's what I think I'm going to do because he genuinely needs our support. But back to it, you know, you can't put headlines like this over 10 minutes of football. And you can't be out here tweeting 001 Gyokeres after one game. You know, I was genuinely shocked. You know, I really was shocked. 0-0, no one cared until he put onto the... You know, this is just not on. It really isn't. I don't even want to dwell on it for too long because I want to have a look at Arsenal and have a bit more of an analytical look at things. And yeah, it wasn't our best game. Martin Odegaard... Yes, as it shows on here, 7.5 rating. But was it a 7.5 rating performance? I don't think so. I think he did struggle receiving with pressure on his back. I don't think he's the penetrative, dynamic midfielder that is sort of needed in that position in terms of creation. Kai Havertz, one of my favourite profiles up there. He wasn't good today. Martinelli struggled. He did not create enough 1v1 threat, and I'll talk about this a bit later. Declan Rice just kept running down a cul-de-sac every time on that left 8 zone. I love Dec. I think he has his uses there, but he's got to have a bit of rotation, especially with Zubimendi, who came on and the game changed. We need them to fluidly rotate. Sometimes Zubi up in that left 8 position, sometimes Rice. We need to switch it up, you know, and I think we saw Saliba again. What a Rolls Royce this guy is, genuinely. 90 minutes played, 3 clearances, 2 block shots, 1 interception, 2 out of 2 aerial duels won. This guy is a mammoth at the back. He genuinely is. Thought Ben White was pretty decent up against Odegaard. It was always going to be a difficult task for him. Then you're looking out at the substitutes that came on, and I think all of us were obviously impressed with Zubimendi, but Max Dowman, the responsibility he put on him, you know, he had 78% pass accuracy, he had 16 touches, and I want to show you something. Max Dowman had 16 touches in 15 minutes. Gabriel Martinelli had 14 touches in 70 minutes. That doesn't show you what the problem is. I don't know what will. Genuinely, the reliance on Max Dowman, the confidence in him to keep on getting that ball, it shows you something. And he was always threatening. And of course, Gyokeres sort of coming on as well. 14 minutes play, 100% pass accuracy, 2 touches of the football. You think he'd have had 100 touches and messed every single one of them up with the way people are reacting. Genuinely, it has baffled me. It genuinely has baffled me, Gyokeres, with the way and the hate he is getting. And yeah, let's head back to sort of Twitter, because I want to talk about the Eze stuff, have a bit of a positive thing about it. Arsenal not worried by Eberechi's release clause expiring after holding talks with Crystal Palace. So they're confirmed. Arsenal held talk with Crystal Palace. His clause, I think, expires tonight, 11:59 p.m, or it might have been a couple of hours ago, 11:59 p.m. But regardless, it doesn't matter. Arsenal are willing to negotiate with Palace. They rate him at around 55 to 60 million, which is only about 8 million less than the release clause anyway. And I talked about in other videos how Crystal Palace went around 30 million up front, which is a lot of money. But I think today's game sort of showed that Arsenal need an Eze. But we don't just need an Eze, we need more than an Eze. Imagine Eze receiving in those pockets with how strong he is in the carry and the duels. It will affect the play. He will affect the play to a high level. I don't think I'm a fan of Eze at left wing. I genuinely don't think his best position is left wing. We need him in the middle where he can progress the ball better. Final third stuff is a lot better as well. He underlaps more than Odegaard. I think that's also my biggest issue. And it just brings a spark, guys. We genuinely need that spark in the middle. You know, and I even put in this comment section, cool, we need another after this, because we do. We need a winger, a pure 1v1 winger. And the best pure 1v1 winger out there is Rafael Leao. For me, he has to be the guy we go for. And if you aren't following my Twitter right now, go drop me a follow. TM Talks Ball, very active on there. I've talked about it. We need a maverick. Arteta's job is to get us as close to the box as possible and allow players to receive in threatening positions. What happens after that in terms of your threat 1v1, in terms of your creation, is up to you as a player. Guardiola said it many times. Other great managers have said it many times. It can't all be on Arteta. Martinelli losing 1v1, Saka losing duels, Odegaard losing out in the middle. That is on the player and their own ability and what they can offer. Genuinely. And yeah, I think we have to be bold now. We have to be bold. Getting Eze on his own isn't going to fix the issues I saw today. Getting a 1v1 guy like a Leao to receive out wide, be dynamic, is what we need. So much will be fixed if Arsenal were able to field a Leao, Havertz or Gyokeres, Saka front three, with Eze, Zubimendi and Rice behind. I have no doubts that could win a title. Even if you replace Leao with Rodrigo, that can still win you a title. Be brave, Berta. We've raised the floor. It's now time to raise the ceiling.